Race number 16 of the AARO Racing Series 2014 campaign would be at the Pensacola Infield Raceway for the Verizon 200. The AAA pole award went to Greg Sauer, who was the winner at Bristol. He would take the green alongside Casey Lester, second in points, and Herb Cilantro third. That's Tyler Diefer fourth, and Nate Smith, our point leader, starting fifth. Interesting battle at the front with both Lester and Smith starting up in the top five. But right away it looks like Lester's going to slide up the racetrack in turn number one. And it looks like he may be holding his own, but Sauer's eventually going to get that spot. Nate Smith, 3 wide for third place in that 83 car. And him, Diefer, and Cilantro now sort out. And Diefer will slide into the third position as we head into the bus stop. And looks like the battle for the lead is still brewing. But it looks like Sauer is going to, well, maybe he won't keep it, as, Lester hops the curb a little bit. And Tyler Diefer is going to look underneath both of them. 3 wide for the lead on lap number 1. So a great start to this one, and Herb Cilantro is right there as well. Sauer is going to be pushed back into the 4th position as Diefer leads his teammate Casey Lester now, and Cilantro actually shoots by the 87 car for second. So 1-2 does not last too long for NSC Racing as Cilantro slots into second place. Charlotte winner Jonathan Ringer started midfield and was very confident in this one. Fastest in the first practice session, and the 0 car moving his way up through the field quite a bit at the start. He's already passed 4 cars at this point, and the 0 car definitely doing much better since the midway point of this season, but Ringer finally looking to get things together with Op Inc. Mac DeCario started in the back like he usually does, and the 96 car third in points, and he's looking to possibly pass Casey Lester in points in this one, as well, right now it doesn't look like that's going to be the case as Lester currently runs in third. DeCario has a lot of ground to make up like he always does, but he always seems to get it done, and the 96 team still looking for their first victory. We'll see if that can be done here at Pensacola. As we see the battle for third brewing, as looks like Greg Sauer's got around the 87 of Casey Lester, and Nate Smith's fallen back to 6th, but Lester and Smith both having solid beginnings to this race as the 2 points contenders looking to make this thing a whole lot more interesting, as Smith's point lead is very big as Lester's tire issue at Charlotte and Smith's rebound at Charlotte really helped that, and 130 points is now the difference between these two, but as it stands right now, Smith still has a giant point lead. Lester's going to need Smith to have some troubles in this one if he wants to possibly make up ground, and it doesn't look too likely with Smith the way he's been running this season, as we see Sauer going for second on Herb Cilantro, and Tyler Diefer continuing to lead, but his lead hasn't really grown at all, and the battle for second heats up behind him as we see a now battle for, I believe that's 4th behind these two, as that's Lester getting passed by Brian Hensler as the 42 and 24 make contact, and this allows Hensler to go 3 wide and take the second position away. Hensler's been very strong this season, just hasn't finished well, and the 10 cars qualified very strong this season, but we haven't seen much of him at the front aside from that, so we'll see if the 10 car can possibly pull a victory out of the bags here at Pensacola, and Hensler tries to run down the 20 of Tyler Diefer, as Greg Sauer actually fell back to 4th after that little sequence of events after going for second, so contacts and a little bit of bad luck for Sauer so far in this one has put him back in the 4th position, as we take a look at Casey Lester, who is now fallen back to around the 7th position, and him and Smith, the 2 points contenders right there. You see Mike Oppenheimer, an unexperienced road course racer, trying to get around Smith, can't get it done there, maybe looking underneath him once again, as Lester, tire failure at Charlotte, and he needs to rebound. He has had a bad couple of races, bad stretch here, and we see Greg Sauer has passed Hensler for second and is working on Tyler Diefer for the lead, and the 24 car is finally all over the back bumper. The 20 car who has led most of this race to this point, I think all of it, but the posts that are right back underneath the 20 car and through these very high banked turns 3 and 4 to this the oval portion of this racetrack. Sauer will take the lead and be the first lead change of the race, besides the initial one, which doesn't count, but looks like the 24 is going to get, and the 20 car runs a bit wide and goes around. No yellow would fly, but we're taking a look at this one. Lap number 6, the 20 car spins around. Herb Cilantro He's up there as well. He gets into the 20 car. Again, no yellow would fly, but the 20 would come into the pits and lose more than several positions. And Tyler Diefer sees his race blow up just like that, runs the corner way wide, and he just goes for a ride from there on, as Herb Cilantro has nowhere to go after he got into the grass as well. And this is definitely a tough break for Diefer, who's been running very strong this season in that 20 car, and he won't be seeing victory in this one. Jack Welter in the 91, looking at him because he has run very strong whenever he's made a race. Unfortunately, he hasn't made all of the races, and the 91 team finally he's not having the best of races, but he's definitely been strong when he does make a race, so we'll see if he can pull it together as he goes around Nick Dawson in the 22. The 91 probably would be in the points contending talk if he made all the races, and the 91 definitely looking to have a better 2014 as we see Hensler going around Jacobs for second, and Jacobs may have got that spot before. Jacobs, this is his home track, and he's looking to put on a show for his hometown friends and family. As you see the 10 car of Hensler now underneath. Sauer slides up into the wall, luckily does not spin, but the pole sitter is going to lose at least one spot, probably more than that. As we see, he doesn't lose as much ground as Diefer at all, but the 24, that'll put a dent on the right side of his car and his day, as I don't think the car is going to be nearly as fast after that one, but he's still in the top 5 and holding his own out there for now. So we'll see if Sauer can pull out a victory here, even with the right side damage to that car. We're looking at Casey Lester. I'm hearing he may have gotten to the wall as well, and the 87 car definitely, yeah, it looks like he has lost quite a bit of ground, and he's out of the top 10 now, and yep, he comes into the pits on lap 10. Lester with right side damage may have gotten to the wall as well, and the half-flat car will be running in the back for this one, as the pit strategy is just definitely going to be different for him, depending on cautions, but that may work in his favor as well. They can make it 20 laps on a run, and there's 39 laps in this race, so we'll see if Lester can go all the way as he pits on lap number 10. As we see the battle for the lead continuing to heat up as Jacobs tries to go past Hensler on lap 15, and definitely putting on a show for his hometown friends and family, as the 40 car has been pretty bad this season, but Comerica Simmons Racing trying to step it up as much as they can. Next year they are hoping to have a much better season, as him and Simmons, Jacobs and Simmons, both outside of the top 30 in points and struggling to make races, as we see the 10 car back underneath the 40 on the same lap. And we see Jason Miller has slotted into third, and these guys continue to battle through the bus stop, as the 10 car definitely does not have the preferred groove, and the 40 car will sneak out in front of him through these next couple of corners. We see Jacobs has grown his lead. This is the same lap, and the 40 car definitely showing how strong his car is in this one. As we see lap 17, here comes Hensler diving into the pits to start green flag pit stops. See Lochner is in there as well. Oppenheimer, it looks like Todd Kinzen, and a bunch of other cars. Can't really make out who they were, but the 10 car running second leads the field in for green flag stops. Next lap, here comes Jacobs, Miller, Luke Kinzen, and others, as the 40 car leads them in. And coming out of the pits, it would be the 10 of Hensler in the lead, but we'd have our first caution fly on lap 22 for debris on the racetrack, and this would have Hensler in the lead instead of Jacobs after stops. During this yellow, more than a couple, a lot of guys would come into the pits. A couple guys would stay out, and that may hurt them, as these guys are coming in to get fuel. They will make it the rest of the way, the guys who came into the pits. These guys who are restarting at the front most likely cannot, but we'll have to see, as Luke Kinzen is your leader. Sean Donnelly right to the inside already, and maybe Jonathan Ringer can get up there as well. Nate Smith running in 5th as Luke Kinzen is into the wall, and the 4 car is going to slide way back, and well, there goes his restart as the 28 car of Sean Donnelly now leads. He's been known to be a super speedway driver, Donnelly has, and to see him leading out a road course, very surprising. And the 28 car running very well this season, and just hasn't had it much to show for it. Still in the top 30 in points, and should continue to be a force through these next couple of races. As we see, Ringer has caught him. This is one lap later. Jonathan Ringer all over the back bumper, the 28, and the 38 or the 83 of Nate Smith continuing to follow these guys in third. So our point leader having a solid race. And there's Tim Averill fourth. Kenny Gerald's running fifth, and Jeff Parshall in sixth. As we see the 0 car underneath Sean Donnelly. So Jonathan Ringer looking to make it 2 races in a row that he's won, and 0 car, he's hoping he can make it on fuel, but very unlikely, we're being told. So the 0 car, we'll see if he can conserve fuel to win this one. As we see Donnelly now looking underneath the 0. This is the next lap. Ringer holding his own, does not slide into the grass, and Jonathan Ringer will hold the lead, it looks like, from Sean Donnelly and Nate Smith. Great battles for the lead, though, as we've only had 1 yellow and the field has stayed mostly intact. And well, here's a surprise. Casey Lester is running way in the back in 37th. No one has retired as well, so 37th place for the 87 car. Definitely not up to speed with everyone else, but his strategy should help him. We'll see how that plays out in this one, but so far not looking so good for second place in points. Casey Lester, lap 29. Nate Smith has taken second, and it looks like Sean Donnelly's trying to get it back from him, as Smith now looks underneath Jonathan Ringer for the lead. Here he comes, and he'll be side by side with Jonathan Ringer going into the bus stop. And the 83 car probably won't have the preferred group coming out of here, but yeah, this will not work out for him, as this is not, you want to make the pass as quickly as possible through there, or else you're going to be trapped like the 83 is right now. But here comes Tim Averill in the 21 car underneath both of these guys, 3 wide for the lead, and a bunch of guys now up there. 6 car battle for the lead, and it looks like either Ringer or Averill is going to hop out with it, and it looks like Ringer will actually keep it. So great driving from Ringer there as he holds off everybody. Nate Smith maybe got a little bit loose there, and a couple guys go around him. He'll fall back to 6th. But the battle for the lead now between the 0 and the 21. What a great lap of racing that was. Great battles at the front, and they're still continuing as Jeff Parshall has worked his way into third. He started way in the back, and Parshall obviously on the same pit strategy as these guys, so we'll see if he can hold his fuel. But the 5 car definitely running very well. As after his injury, he has come back very strong. And we see there's now a battle for the lead between the 21 and 0, but Averill backs off the 0 car of Jonathan Ringer, continuing to lead. And Averill maybe hopped the curb a little bit there, but the 5 car is now underneath the Sony Pontiac, and Jeff Parshall goes to second place. And he's going to take Sean Donnelly with him, and Averill's going to fall way back. It looks like Kenny Gerald's maybe underneath him as well. And going through this little section of the track, very tricky if you're on the inside. And that shows right there as Kenny Gerald gets around the 21 car, and Averill continuing to run strong this season in 4th place. As we see the next lap, battle for the lead once again. Sean Donnelly doesn't look like he can do it, crosses over, and he gets underneath the Chase Bank Dodge of Jonathan Ringer, and it looks like he might take Parshall with him. So great maneuver right there for Sean Donnelly, and he's definitely looking like a contender in this one. Hopefully the fuel holds up for him. But the 28 car in the lead, and he takes Parshall with him. Jonathan Ringer is going to fall way back to about 4th or 5th, as here's the next lap, as Ringer has actually worked his way back up into the 2nd place, and it looks like the 5 cars back underneath him once again. Jeff Parshall looking like he may have a opportunity to win this one, as he's still looking for that first career win. Been known to be a pretty sloppy driver, but he's definitely cleaned that up a bit this season. His reputation has gone way up, and Jeff Parshall looks like he has taken the 2nd position away from Jonathan Ringer. Maybe not, as Averill goes 3 wide with them and will take that spot away. Lap 36, 3 laps from the finish. Here comes Nate Smith, Sean Donnelly, and Ross Lowry all out of fuel, So the strategy does not pay off. Maybe if they had another yellow, they would have. But Nate Smith, Sean Donnelly, and others will now be forced to pit as the strategy does not work out, and it looks like it may not work out for Ringer or Gerald's as well. And Will Legge is the first car out there who is on a different pit strategy, so we'll see if he can pass these guys and possibly snatch the win away like he did at Calgary in his first career win in last season in 2012. As we see Ringer and Gerald's both down in the inside groove, and it looks like they'll hop into the pits as well. So yes, I was right. Will Legge maybe staying out and taking the lead. Oh, Gerald does stay out, but Legge to the inside of him. And Gerald still may need to pit. He's conserving fuel. And the 15 car is underneath him for the lead. So Will Legge, looks like the 14 car runs it a bit high into the wall. Goes Kenny Gerald's. And Kenny Gerald's will fall way back, and he still needs the pit. So insult to injury for the 14 car. He actually falls outside of the top 10 after that one. But Will Legge coming out of nowhere and will be your leader coming to the white flag. This is how Will Legge has won both of his races so far in his career. At Calgary, he won the road course at Calgary, and at Saskatchewan, he just came out of nowhere and won that one. And here he is again, last lap, out of nowhere, Will Legge. And we'll see if he can hold off Todd Bradshaw, who is now past Tim Averill. And these guys continuing battling for second, as we see Luis Tellez in fourth, and I believe that's Jeff Parshall may have had that fuel strategy work out in fifth, as 15 car continuing to lead. The lead has shrunk quite a bit though, and 15 continuing to pace the field. Very long laps at this racetrack, almost 2 minutes long, and Legge just has to hold off Bradshaw for a couple more corners, and he'll have his third career win. As we see him going through this high bank sharp corner, Bradshaw still looking for that first win this season for Op Inc. I don't think he'll have enough to get past Will Legge. He has one more shot through the long sweeping turns 3 and 4, and he's actually getting challenged by Tim Averill, so I don't think that's going to happen. Will Legge, if he can just keep the car going through these last two corners, will take his third career win. So he's got a big enough lead where he can basically coast from here. And the 15 car rounds turns 3 and 4, and off turn number 4, Will Legge. And it looks like Luis Tellez is actually snuck underneath the two, battling for second, but doesn't matter. Will Legge will win his third career race. He wins at Pensacola, coming out of nowhere using great strategy. Will Legge is your winner, his third career AARS victory. He wins with Tim Averill finishing second. Luis Tellez ended up sneaking into third. Todd Bradshaw fell to fourth in those last couple of corners. Jeff Parshall was the first one who ended up having that pit strategy work. He conserved fuel, finishes fifth. Nick Dawson finishes sixth. Another solid run from him after finishing second at Charlotte. Alex States started 42nd. He finishes in the 7th position. Great run for him. He's had a bad couple of weeks lately. Justin Bazzani, 8th. Solid run for him. Frank Harris, I don't think we've said his name once all season. Finishes 9th. And Michael Carter gets only his second top 10 of the season. And his second 10th place finish of the season. He finishes 10th. And JN Motorsports, Pisani and Carter have not led a lap yet this season. So we'll see if they can do anything here at the end of the year. Nate Smith leads the point standings by 106 over new second place driver Mac DiCario. Casey Lester sits third, 109 behind. So championship battle is a little bit closer, but hopefully these guys can close the gap a little bit, make this championship interesting, as Nate Smith continuing to run away with it a little bit. Smith finished 37th, Lester 30th, I believe, and that shrinks the gap a little bit more. Justin Pisani 4th in the standings, Carson Crompton 5th, Alex Yates 6th, Herb Cilantro fell to 7th, Ricardo Blanco 8th, Alan Reed's 9th, and Kenny Gerald's is your 10th place driver in the standings. Next week we head to Michigan International Speedway for the Little Caesars 250. Should be a great race, so stay tuned.